go a day without talking about artificial intelligence, and it's rapidly becoming the first place people turn to when researching companies, brands, and even government institutions. But here's the interesting part: AI isn't simply repeating what organizations say about themselves. It's drawing answers largely from trusted journalism, independent reporting, and credible third-party sources. I mean, a company's reputation is no longer shaped only by advertising or its own website. So what does it mean for businesses and what they budget for advertising and all of that? Joining me now is Israel-Ayide, the founder CEO, Carpe Diem Solutions. Joins me right here in the studio. Great to have you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so it's quite interesting. These AI platforms now becoming the go-to place to search, to learn about companies and all of that.
Yeah.
And AI would look for credible sources to find information about your company, not what you've put out there.
Yes.
How does that impact?
So it's quite interesting. The consumer behavior, the audience behavior has changed right now. Before, people will go on Google, and then Google will tell them, this is what it is about this kind of company. And a lot of times people could use SEO to sort of like game the system. So your blogs, the things you were saying about yourself,
all the nice things
will pop up on Google. Right now, what artificial intelligence has brought into the playing field is that it is taking data from credible sources. So like, what has Channels Television said about this individual? What have this other news platform said about this company, and so on and so forth? That is what AI is feeding to people. And the audience behavior has changed. People are no longer going to Google, they are going to ChatGPT, to Gemini, to Claude to look for information. So as they are searching for information about you, about your company, it is what is on credible platforms that is being fed back to them. So if you are invisible to AI, then it means that you are invisible to your audience, essentially.
So I guess AI doesn't have like a last resort and say, let me just go to their website.
Yeah, it may, but the data that has been, the data based on the research that has been done by Mokrack is that about 80% of the data that is coming through AI is being sourced from news platforms. Do you understand? So yes, it does pull data from your website, but like to a very, very limited extent. Do you understand? So what happens is that if someone, for instance, says, who is the best fintech company in Nigeria, it will first of all prioritize people who have news reports on credible platforms before then going to maybe you, that your blog says you are the next best thing since the invention of sliced bread.
No matter what you raised,
yes,
funding round,
exactly,
and all of that. Does that mean reputation has become even more valuable, as a business asset, more than brand awareness?
Yes. So the thing about like us in public relations, we always say that ultimately the goal of every communications practice is to create trust. Do you understand? Of course, awareness does help, advertising and other forms of marketing does help, but what AI has now shown is that your reputation, and by to a large extent what your communications, what your public relations practice and your machinery is saying about you, has become much more important, because AI is not pulling advertising content, it is pulling what other people have reported about you, and that is really where PR comes in, essentially. Do you understand? What news reports have said about you, what interviews have you appeared upon, what maybe reports have said about you. So essentially it is trying to pull credible data to then say, this is who this person is, or this is who are the best people in this field, which is what the audience is really doing these days, going to AI machines to then look for information before they make purchasing decisions.
Right. So at some point, when does this become a risk?
So the fact is that with AI, of course, there's a lot of risks that are inherent. Back in the days, people used to game the SEO machine. They understand. So of course, there's also the risk that people will continue to game the AI machines as well. Do you understand? It's also possible that there will be bad players who will then use the media to create narratives that will then be fed to AI machines, and they'll pull up those information, which is why I think a lot of AI companies, especially companies like Anthropic and Gemini, are really investing in making sure that there's an extra layer of human care into the kind of content that is going into those platforms, because with artificial intelligence there's a lot more risk with fake news, with misinformation, as we have seen a lot of times in the news. But beyond all of that is the fact that for organizations and for brands, AI then means that you need to be much more intentional about building your reputation.
All right. So, what do CEOs do with this information? Is it that you're gearing investment towards what?
So I think what CEOs need to understand very clearly, and every decision maker, every board member, they need to understand that before there used to be this belief that public relations is one part of the industry that you just do when you have some good news to share. What AI is showing us right now, and what the data from Mokrak, from Ipsos and all the others are showing us, is that now a sizable portion of your budget needs to go into public relations, because that is what is really shaping the perception for the future of where audience and media is going. People are going to rely a lot more on artificial intelligence for information, and if you devote a lot more budget to that, to those platforms that are shaping your reputation for AI searches, then you're more likely to be positioned positively in front of your audiences and stakeholders.
Fantastic. All right. I guess at this point, you have to do with that information what you need to do.
Yes.
Thank you so much. It was great having you. Edward Israel-Ayide is the founder CEO, Carpe Diem Solutions.
All right. Thank you very much, Laddie. Have a great day.
All right. We'll take a moment now. We'll find out.